You're listening to Northbound, presented by Big Time Hoops. For the North, by the North, Big Time. And now your hosts, Tom Bard and Steve Carmichael.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Northbound, the podcast, brought to you by Katahdin Trust Company. And we're back for round two, essentially, so we're covering the girls this time. Hopefully you listened to the boys episode. We got you all spun up there. If you didn't listen to the boys, we let up that episode apologizing for taking such a long break. We're back, and we're going to try to get these out weekly here as we wrap up.
We try to get a couple episodes out a week, huh?
Yeah, a couple episodes out a week. We're going to try to do a boys episode and a girls episode moving forward, just so we're covering everyone, we're getting them out, and everyone's staying up to date. So we just rented the boys. We're going to rent to the girls. We'll just hit A real quick. Hamden Academy, currently number 1 at 11-1. Number 2 is Mount Ararat, who's the defending Class A champs, who were actually from the South last year and the North this year. They're also 11-1. Class A North should be interesting come tournament time. You got a bunch of teams that are kind of in contention there. Edward Little, who's had a great year, 12-1. Camden Hills 10-2, and then Bangor 8-4. So that top 5 looks really competitive. As we come down to the final stretch, it seems like those are the teams that have kind of separated themselves. And the Class A North tournament should be very interesting. Whoever does come out of the North, though, is going to have their hands tied with whoever comes out of the South. Because just like in A boys, the South is an absolute log jam down there. South Portland, Cheverus, Biddeford in the mix. Sanford is in the mix.
Yeah, I'm just looking at, I don't see if Mount Ararat and Hamden have played yet this year, but I do see on January 29th, Mount Ararat, they'll be hosting Hamden Academy.
Yeah, so
7 o'clock.
A lot of these teams are going to meet up here before the end of the year. So Mount Ararat's got Camden Hills and Hamden Academy and Edward Little. So they're all going to get another crack at each other before it's all said and done. So these rankings are far from finished, but
the only loss for him is to Camden Hills, who's 10-2 in the 4th spot, and Mount Ararat to Gray New Gloucester, who's 12-1 in South B.
And one of the favorites to win down there too. So competitive all across the board. But we're going to hop into what we do best, B, C, D, and S, beginning with B North. Taking a look at only one B team really in our area, Steve's Prescott Wildcats, who are not towards the top, but they are in the playoff picture, number 8 right now. At the top, undefeated Gardner, who's kind of come out of nowhere to kind of get that top spot. They're young, but they are good. They've had a couple big wins as of late, beating Lawrence this past week, twice actually on the season. They hit that number 1 spot. Old Town, steady as always, number 2 at 9-3. Herman at 7-5, sitting number 3. Mount Desert Island at 4, to round out the top 4. So one of the things I'm surprised with Steve Lawrence sitting down there in the 6th spot. Matty Provost did get hurt and missed some time. But they've had a tough schedule. They've played a lot of these teams that are sitting up above them. Your takeaways from B North at this point in the season?
Yeah, their losses are to Oceanside, 13-1, Hamden Academy, 11-1 in A, and then Gardner, who's unbeaten twice. Yep. So 4 losses when those teams have a combined of
a lot and a little.
Not concerned about Lawrence. But again, I talked about B North boys. I'm going to say the same thing about B North girls. Gardner is got to be considered the favorite. You pick up 2 wins on Lawrence, and I think the second game, I think it was by double digits.
At Lawrence.
Yeah, 74-60. And they've also beat Herman on the road, 58-34, who's sitting in 3rd. They've defeated Erskine, who's the defending regional finalist, 60-54. They beat Coney, who's in 7th, 58-17. I mean, this team, Gardner, you talk about they are young. Quintana, I think she's 6'2", 6'3", freshman in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Takatsu as well.
Yeah.
Gardner, again, didn't watch them much last year. They were in A. I think they were in A. Now they've made the drop, and that's not an easy schedule. Though some of those wins are against, definitely quality opponents. So Old Town and Herman, they just played yesterday. Herman beat them by right around 10 or so. Old Town is with Heather Richards, Taylor Loring, phenomenal shooter Taylor Madden. They got probably one of the best backcourts in B North, and they play some great defense as well. Herman, I love Abby Bradstreet, the transfer from Nokomis. She's a baller. Have you seen her play?
I haven't seen her play this year, but I was surprised. I didn't realize that she'd made the transfer until I saw game picks for one of the games that we covered. I was like, I didn't know she was there.
Yeah, oh yeah, she's there. I got a chance to watch her up in Presque Isle, and she was phenomenal in that game. And they got Balmus on the inside too. I really like this Herman team. MDI, very young, very quick, athletic. Ellsworth, they just defeated. They had a comeback victory over Presque Isle yesterday by 3, and they had lost, I think, 5 in a row. So broke their losing streak yesterday at home. Lizzie Bowles is the leading scorer right now in the Big East Conference. Lawrence with Maddie Provost and Shores. That is an awful matchup if you are one of the top 4 seeds and you get stuck with Lawrence, who's got Miss Basketball. That sucks. Yeah. That's the one team you probably don't want to play. Coney and Presque Isle right now are battling, and Erskine Academy. Like Presque Isle right now as the 8th seed, you talk about what sucks for them. Erskine in a prelim,
9-3.
And they were in the regional final last year, and I don't think they lost anybody. Their pressure is Presque Isle sometimes struggles with pressure. Erskine puts on a lot of it. So that could be a really good prelim. But then, I mean, Presque Isle and Coney are within tenths of a point of each other. And Presque Isle does have some big wins this year, and they've got some points left on their schedule because they did beat Herman the one time that they have played so far, and then they defeated Caribou this past week. So those 2 win John Baptist as well is a quality win too. That was their first loss in January. They still have Old Town tomorrow, MDI on the road, Herman on the road, and then Caribou on the road. So the Wildcats have had some home cooking here in January. But Erskine, Coney, Presque Isle, Erskine, 7 through 9, depending on who John Baptist can beat near the end of the season. Maybe they can jump up too. But 7 through 10 are going to be bouncing back and forth, depending on who beats who and how the heel points work. I'm not a mathematician. I don't try to pay attention to it or understand it. I just
check the standings. That's it.
if where Presque Isle beats Herman beating Old Town yesterday, that makes them worth more, and Presque Isle gets more points. That's just how I see it. That's how I know it works. And then Presque Isle obviously beating Caribou, that's worth a ton of points because Caribou is a pretty damn good team too. So it is B North girls from 1 to 10. Well, I mean, even Belfast is not mathematically out of it in 11th.
It's going to be interesting. So it's going to be a fun time.
Madomic, Herman, Ellsworth, Gardner, and Lawrence remaining on their schedule. So if they pull off an upset, it's B North girls once again.
What's been the biggest surprise to you in B North?
Well, I think Gardner. Number one. I mean, I think that's the most glaring thing is that 12-0. Lawrence at 8-4. Tough schedule. There's some context there, but Gardner's doubled them up as far as heel points. Yeah. Gardner is 15 points clear of number 2.
And like I mentioned, they are young and they've got more talent coming in that 8th grade class. And Gardner is going to be probably the team to beat for the next 4 or 5 years. I'm going to go ahead and say it now. Watch out for the Gardner Tigers. Could be a little dynasty.
In the making.
Absolutely. Let's drop it on down to C. At the top spot, Mananock 13-0, perfect on the year. George Stevens 2nd, Foxcroft 3rd, Caribou 4th. You just mentioned them, a pretty good team down there in C. Your biggest takeaway from C North so far, Steve?
Well, I mean, Mananock is unbelievable. Yeah. Addison Sear, I think she's averaging 25 and 18 on the year. That's not bad for a double-double.
And also just set the all-time scoring record for the school, boys or girls, the all-time leading scorer now.
Megan House, really solid also. I think she's in the top 5 in scoring. She might be 2nd, actually. And then you also got Turner on the outside. Kluke, you can shoot it. De La Cruz is on the inside, is a nice compliment for Sear. I think out of all the classes that will be in Bangor, this is the one where everybody's like, yeah, it's Mananock Academy. That's theirs to lose.
Let me ask you this. They've been knocking on the door the last couple of years, but they had PBHS in front of them. Now they're in D, so they don't have to go through PBHS. Do you think it's going to make it any less sweet that they don't have that team that they've been trying to get by to maybe get to a state championship game this year?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't think so. I mean, they didn't make the decision on where Penobscot Valley drops as far as their enrollment, and they did play already on this year, and Mananoc defeated them. I was going to try to find the score as you brought that up. Didn't look like I could find it right off, but I'm pretty sure they played. Yeah, they did 55-46,
and they got them one more time too.
Yep, got them again. So I don't think it makes any sweeter. I think Mananoc, as you mentioned, they've been the bridesmaid. They deserve this. Yeah. They deserve it. And they put a lot of work in, a lot of effort, a lot of time in the gym, and I don't think it'll make it any less sweeter. But I do get what you're saying. Like if you want to beat the team that always beat you, basically in the tournament, you finally want to go on the cross center floor and kick their ass, right? And
Dexter's still there too, though. Dexter's been another one of those teams that's probably been a team that they've been battling for years. So they might actually meet up in a second round matchup here. So might have a chance to at least go through one of those schools that's kind of kept them back.
It's true. And I say they the only way they can play them this year is in regular season play. They're just going to have to take their chance there and have that be sweet enough. And I'm sure it will be. So
the defending state champs are in C, but they're the defending Class B champs. The Caribou Vikes sit there number 4 at 7-5. Your takeaways on if they can make another run and maybe get back to a regional final or even another state championship game?
Well, they start 3 sophomores and 2 freshmen. So Quinn Corrigan and Lily Bell averaging each about 17 points a game this year. I've done quite a handful of their games. Bell has a scorer's mentality, and she simply just knows how to get the basketball up on the rim. Yeah. Terrific shooter also. Corrigan is a terrific ball handler, takes care of it. Great passer as well. Very unselfish. But she can also shoot it. And they've had multiple times that I've done their game, they've both had over or pretty close to 20 points, if not over, both of them. What's key for Caribou is how do Carly Levesque, Peyton West, Evelyn Roy, how do they develop with Bell and Corrigan? Levesque played really well yesterday against Foxcroft, which was a big win at home. Her confidence seems to be growing each and every game. And, other teams are going to say, we have to stop Bell and Corrigan, and they're going to leave Levesque open. And if she is confident and is able to shoot the basketball or make an aggressive move to the rim, she's going to be the X factor. And as well as West on the inside, another freshman. So Caribou has a chance here to maybe this year they might not have the horses to beat Mananoc Academy. However, in the next 2 to 3 years, of course, the new head coach this year with Kenzie Turner, they have a chance to build, something special over in Caribou.
I think you mentioned 5 names for the Caribou Vikes. Can you name a couple more to get to 7?
Olivia Trosper and Lily McCrossan.
There we go. There's 7 right there. I like that.
Bryn Hamilton also. Bryn played awesome the other day against Prescal off the bench. She's doing really well. So there's 8.
Let's look at the bottom of the playoff picture in C North right now. So top 10 get in those 8, 9, and 10 spots. We got Holton, Fort Kent, and Orono. How do you see the bottom of this playoff picture shaking out? Who do you think gets into a prelim when it's all said and done?
I would say those 4 right now: Sumner, Holton, Fort Kent, and Orono, because you got WA who's in 11th right now with 9 on their schedule, and they've got that game with Washington Academy and Sumner on the 19th, which is tomorrow. Then they got GSA, Foxcroft, Orono, Fox Fork House, and then Sumner again. So Washington Academy and Sumner, that could decide maybe one of the last playoff spots in C North. I want to give a shout out to Holton. Coach Chad Gentle, that program was in shambles last year.
Yep.
And he stepped in about midway through the season and stabilized it. And now this year, they've got 3 wins over Stearns, Callis, and Orono. And they've lost to Prescal, Mananoc, Caribou, Foxcroft. I want to give him a shout out, and Tori Irvin and Amelia Matuico and Reagan Wright and Marissa Barton. These players that it was just kind of a nightmare last year, and they have really developed. And this year, right now in the thick of it, could potentially make it to Bangor. I think is one of the best stories coming out of C North.
Shout out to the Shires.
Yeah. And I also want to talk about Foxcroft a little bit. They're 9-3, sitting there in the 3rd spot.
Yep.
The tough one yesterday against Caribou. They got a couple transfers, Muth and LaBelle from Herman, as well as Nola Mason. That trio there, they also got Addie Day for Coach Muzzy. I think Foxcroft has I don't think surprised people. We all expected them. But they've pulled off some nice wins, and they got 2 victories over B North John Bapst, who is in the hunt for the postseason. Their only losses are twice to Herman and then once to Caribou. You're not going to say there's ever a good loss, but it's not like they're losing games that they shouldn't lose.
Yeah.
So I think Foxcroft is another team to potentially watch out for. They could make a run to the regional final.
Shout out to Coach Muzzy. They still got 6 games to go, so a chance to possibly move up in those standings before it's all said and done. Let's drop it on down to D, which we figured coming into the season will be a 2-team race between Bangor Christian and Penobscot Valley. Bangor Christian sitting there in the top spot, undefeated at 14-0, and just running through their schedule. Machias at number 2, Central Aroostook at 3, Southern Aroostook 4, and then Penobscot Valley right there at 5. So your takeaways from D, Steve, as we take a look at the playoff picture. It looks like Bangor Christian's run away with it and going to get that top spot unless something miraculous happens, but it looks like they've locked up the number 1 seed. Your takeaways on D.
Yeah, you talk about teams that have already played a bunch of games. Bangor Christian's already played 14.
Yeah.
So they've only got 4 games left. Hodgson, Penobscot Valley for the 3rd time this year. Pancras Valley and Jonesboro Beals. They've almost doubled up.
They're done early. Their last game is February 2. That's their last regular season game. So they're going to go like 10 something days before they play a playoff game.
And if they're the 1 seed in D girls, they would not play again until. Let me just pull this up here. I'm trying to pull up D girls. They would not play again until February 16th at 1:30.
That's 2 weeks
So
without a game right there.
2 whole weeks off.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So talking about Mary Allen, one of the most impactful players in the entire state, stat sheet stuffer.
Yep.
I'm surprised that I'm not surprised that they're number 1, but their 2 games against Penobscot Valley, they beat them by 9 the second time around, and then the first time, I don't think it was. Yeah, they beat them by 10.
Yeah.
So pretty consistent in those 2 victories. And that's going to be, I think, their biggest competition in D North. Central Aroostook, they're 11-1. Their only losses to the number 1 team in Class S and Wisdom. And they still got Washburn, Wisdom, Southern Aroostook. So, the Panthers are the defending champions. Lily Burt and Harley Allen, one of the best 1-2 punches in D North. But Southern Aroostook, Allie Shields finally has gotten rid of the knee brace. She's playing some excellent basketball, headed to the University of Maine at Presque Isle next year.
Yep.
Coming into Umpy. So it's nice to see her getting back doing her thing. And then Penobscot Valley in 5th. So those are I would say the top 5 teams pretty easily. I wanted again to go watch Machias. Talking to Coach Kelly O'Leary for 4Ken, he was talking about how good Machias is. That is a team that you want to watch out for in D North. So I haven't seen them play yet. I know they got a really good freshman. Well, they got Reynolds on the inside too. So there's some teams I don't see a lot on the the down east in Washington County areas. Don't get down there very much.
It's tough, bro. You're a busy man, and it's way out there. So
it's hard to watch a game while I'm doing a game.
Yeah, you haven't mastered.
So that was my.
You haven't mastered that skill yet. How to watch a game and call a game.
I mean, it's on, but I'm not paying attention to it. It's just the score.
Yeah,
I care about.
So in D North, top 10 teams make it. In the bottom 3 spots, we got Fort Fairfield, Stearns, and Woodland. Any takeaways from the bottom 3? Looks like there's still Skank, maybe at 11, that could play their way in. But takeaways from the bottom of the playoff picture.
Yeah, Pancras Valley's 2-7 on the year. I don't see them making a run. Because Hodgson threw Woodland. And I believe Hodgson just had a big game from Ava Azell the other night in their victory over Fort Fairfield. And that's a 7-8 matchup. Woodland, they might have to take a trip up to Hodgson and Stearns. Not a horrible trip up to Fort Fairfield. They're not separated by very much. It's like half a tenth.
Yeah.
So those top 5, though, I mean, Bangor Christian is just running away with it. That is by far, I think, the largest discrepancy in any class.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if that time off affects them at all. Maybe not in that first round, but hopefully they can continue that momentum into the tournament and make a deep tournament run here. That'll be the team to watch.
Yeah, because like Friday night is all B, and then it goes to D on Saturday morning, and then right back to B on Saturday night.
Yeah. It'll be here before we know it. But before we get up out of here, we got one more
Already-
class to touch on.
Yeah, I've already booked my hotel.
It's good to go. Class
Good to
S.
go.
And shout out to the Wisdom girls. 13-0, sitting in the number one spot. A team, we talk about teams knocking on the door the last couple of years. They've had some chances to kind of push through, but Southern Aristic has just been a tough team for them to get through. They don't have to worry about Southern Aristic this year being in Class S, but currently sitting there at number one. Katahdin 2 at 12-1. Jonesport, Beals, and Deer Isle Stonington round out the top four. What can you tell us about our Wisdom Pioneers there, Steve?
Ava Lerman, headed to Husson University, has had a real big year for Coach Dion. And they have played Katahdin once on the year. And I believe Wisdom beat them by 15, 36-21.
Yeah.
But Peyton Roy as well is a pretty darn good freshman to look out for the Pioneers. That 1-2 punch doing really well, Coach Dion. And then you get Coach Tracy Jarrett as well, helping on the bench too. She knows a thing or two about basketball.
Absolute legend, Tracy Jarrett.
That's right.
Yeah.
Katahdin for the Cougars, 12-1. They're only lost 2 Wisdom. Polly Collins, one of the best freshmen around. And then you got Emily McNally, Ariana Lester, too. First-year coach Craig Hartsgrove. On the girls' side, I think that Katahdin and Wisdom is the preview of the regional final, although I want to talk about Jonesport Beals. I've talked about Mia Mills quite extensively in the past. She's the second leading scorer in the division. So that's, again, you throw one of the best players on the floor any given night, give you a chance to win.
Yeah.
And they also got Deer Isle Stonington too there. And Ashland is very good also. So that top 5 have really separated themselves from the rest of the pack. That's North. Again, it's a weird schedule. Their quarterfinals are on Tuesday or Thursday. Not sure yet. They don't know when they're going to play yet.
Yeah. Hey, have you gotten to Wisdom to call a game yet?
I have not. I'm in Fort Kent Thursday, and then I'm in Madawaska on Friday.
Oh, man. Talk about great gyms up there in the county. That Wisdom one is kind of unique, too.
What's their schedule? Let me see what their schedule's like when I get coming up here.
Yeah.
Well, the game on the 30th is down in Katahdin, but they're Friday. The Friday they're hosting Central Aroostook. Fort Fairfield at home. Well, that's in Fort Fairfield. Their next one would be Washburn on the 3rd. That's the same day as Prescott Caribou girls. I'll be doing Caribou Prescott. I'll be only going to Caribou. That's a long hike for me. But you're right. I should get up there and do a game.
It's a fun place. It's a fun little gym. It's one of the more unique ones up there in the county. So shout out to Wisdom Pioneers.
We cover all their games. They came down and played the Prescott first team the other day. So not the varsity team, not the JV team, like the JV2 team. Yeah.
How'd that go?
Oh, Wisdom beat them by 20 something.
Nice. There we go.
Sam Tardif. Yeah. Bucket.
So we run through all the girls teams here, all the classes. Before we get up out of here, Steve, any other takeaways on the girls side of things in general, or anything you want to get off your chest before we wrap it up for the week here?
What's your thought process on the flop warning? We talked about this a little bit last year. What do you think is the answer to get rid of flopping?
I don't have the key. I don't have the answer, Steve. I don't watch enough of these games. All right. I stay plugged in as best I can. I haven't seen enough of these calls to see like the warning call or what they do. So you're better, more equipped to give an answer on that.
Every time somebody flops, I see at coaches and fans, they stand up and they do the flopping symbol, right? You put 2 hands to your shoulders, then you push them forward. Yep. And so it looks like you got your palms up and you're just shrugging. And at this point, I've seen a lot of flop warnings, but then I don't see a technical. And I see another flop.
Yeah.
And again, I spoke about this last year, is I think it puts officials in a bit of it's like a judgment call.
Yeah.
Just if a kid flops, just call it a blocking foul. Like, just give him the block.
Yeah.
And
keep doing it. Just keep calling the block.
Oh, yeah. I just see so many flops. And I'm one of those kids that stand your ground.
Yeah.
Go straight up. Stand your ground. I don't like the flop, but it gets rewarded. So It's like, of course teams are going to do it because it's called the charge.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just get rid of the technical, Call it a block. Get rid of the warning. Don't even warning. Just block. Now you have a foul called on you. Don't even give them a warning. Because sometimes they don't even call a foul, and it just becomes a warning.
Yeah.
So it's weird. I don't like, and I'm not saying it's the official's fault. It's just, I don't like it's an NFHS rule or something. As well as this year, and I apparently didn't know this. I thought every time a player would smack the backboard after a shot, it was always going to be goaltend. It was going to be basket interference.
Yeah.
But it's official discretion of the vibration of the rim.
You got to interpret the vibration.
If they hit the backboard, it's basket interference. Yeah. If the ball's already gone off the backboard and then they slap it, that should be goaltend. Yeah. Let's stop having judgment calls and just make it a little more black and white. Because then you give coaches reason to yell at you, which we don't want. What do you think, Tom?
Anything else you want to keep going or what?
And add the freaking half circle underneath the basket.
Yeah, you've been after that for years, man.
Let's just stop beating around the bush here and just freaking add it. Yeah. It's not hard. It's a can of paint and some tape. I'll do it. I'll go to Wisdom and I'll go to York and I'll do it.
Every court, get it in. I will say this: the one game that I did go to in person this year, the 4K Mananaca game, and let me just say, it felt so good to be back in Northern Maine and see Northern Maine officiating, because it is different than the way the game's called in other parts of the state. And I'm not saying it's better, and I'm not saying it's worse. It's just a little bit different. And it was fun to be back in that environment, just see some of these calls and kind of shake your head. But that's Northern Maine basketball. It's how we call it up there. It's how it's played.
I couldn't hear anything. Of course, I had the headset on. You were sitting behind me, I believe. Yeah. I think you were right behind me, weren't you?
I was right behind. I was a couple rows behind you.
I can't hear anything through my headset usually. And it's probably better that way.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of sarcastic.
Yeah. That's
so I don't want to say anything stupid. I don't want to say anything stupid on the air.
Yeah. But at the same time, shout out to all the refs. It's not an easy job. It's a difficult thing to do. And if you think you can do it better, then you should go out there and get the license, become an official and help us out. But shout out to all the refs out there. You guys are doing the best you can. Amen. It's just,
appreciate them.
It's called differently in different parts of the state. And our Northern Maine way of officiating, it's our Northern Maine way of officiating. It was just fun to be back in that environment.
When people come up here, they say they got countied. It is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is. But that's how we do things up there. Yeah. That's going to do it. Go ahead.
Well, has the big time hoops all-star stuff come? Are we doing that again this year? Or you haven't done anything? Or
all-star weekend's coming. The announcement's actually going up in a couple hours here. We're going to formally announce the date. We can go ahead and say it now because this part won't air till tomorrow, March 7th. Just want to shout out Cooper Flagg, who kind of messed up the schedule this year, because Cooper plays in Boston on March 6th, which is a Friday night, which is typically the night we get things going. But because everyone's going to be going down to Boston, we got to shift everything to a one-day event this year. It's all going to be March 7th, but it might actually wind up working out better that way. So shout out Coop for coming to Boston and interrupting All-Star Weekend. But it will be March 7th. Rising
Coop
Stars.
Just
getting in the way. I was talking to Matt McKenzie this weekend twice. I'm talking to Matt on the phone. He's like, I got to go. Cooper's calling me. So Cooper is interrupting my life by making me have to end my phone calls early, because he just, he takes precedence. So he's affecting All-Star Weekend.
But I'll probably with Matt on that one.
Yeah, it is what it is. But shout out to Coop, who also makes his NBA debut at Madison Square Garden on Monday night, Martin Luther King Day, 5 p.m. on NBC. So let's plug that. Cooper in the Garden for the first time as an NBA player. Check that out. But yeah, more news about All-Star Weekend to come. It's going to happen. It's our 5th annual already. Years are flying by. We're going to make it the biggest and best one yet. But more details.
Still at the Sports Academy?
It'll be at the Sports Academy once again this year. So that's been our home. And we're going to go back for the 5th time here and make it really special. So more details to follow. It's going to be coming up soon. But on a quicker note, I will be in the county next Sunday for the Big Time Hoops County Skills Clinic. So we got a clinic with Matt McKenzie and his folks from Results Basketball. Grades K through 8 for the clinic. And then we have all-star games for grades 3, 4. There's a 5, 6 all-star game, then a 7, 8 all-star game. So we'll be at Umpy all day on Sunday for that one. So we're excited to get up there and finally.
You're going to be there?
I'll be there all day. So excited.
Did you get in or what?
No, you're Big Time Hoops. Just wear your little hoodie, your little pullover. You'll be all set. Just point to the logo and you can get in. So, but we're excited.
Tom.
Yeah. Well, we're excited to be bringing something to the county. We hope that it's the start of many more events that we do up there. So
Love it.
we've already got our clinic already all maxed out, and all of our all-star invites pretty much confirmed. So
When was last time Mackenzie was in the county?
I don't think he's ever been to the county. I think this is his first time. So yeah, it's we got to show him a good time. We got to show him a good time up there, so he wants to go back.
Yeah.
That's going to do it for this week's episode of Northbound, the podcast presented by Katahdin Trust. As we mentioned on the top, we're going to try to start going to 2 a week. We'll do a boys episode. We'll do a girls episode. We'll keep it short at about 30 minutes and try to hit one every week from now through tournament time, just to keep you guys plugged in, because we are reaching the best time of the year. We're in playoff hunt and then right into playoffs. So for Steve, for myself, thank you for listening. And we'll see you next week on another episode of Big Time Hoops Northbound podcast presented by Katahdin Trust.